It is quite interesting when you consider death and how people over the, I would say, thousands of years that I believe we have been on earth. Yes, I said thousand, and I know that sounds silly in light of what is in the mainstream ideology of billions and billions of years. But as far as I'm concerned, evolution and its theory is just that, theory. And science in its true form, you know, has never been able to verify evolution. Never. Science in all its trappings and what you would say volume of information has never been able to refute the 6-day creation found in that book. Science has proven nothing to repute the Genesis 6-day creation of the earth. Nothing. For all the years, probably hundreds of years of study and research and all of that, science has really shown not even a single evidence for evolution. Science have not proven that one species or one creature over time what they say evolve into another creature. Never, and cannot be so. What the Bible says is that every living creature that we see, or every living thing that we see, because there's different classified, different area for for living things, because you know you have plants and you have animals and you have, you know, human and whatever, different classification of living things. But whatever, science has never been able to prove that one species jump to another species or evolve in another species. That has never been able to prove and will never. What the Bible say, in the beginning, God, you know, and many people, because of the hatred they have for God, you know, they would want to jump on the you know, for years they have jumped on the wagon of science. But science is there, or evolution, the theory of evolution is there in order to replace the God of the Bible, because nothing evolved. Nothing, absolutely nothing evolves. Right? A monkey remain a monkey, a chicken remain a chicken, a human being remain a human being, and that has been from God said, let there be. Right? God spoke these words in Genesis. Let there be. Right? There was no process. There was no billions and trillions of years in between. It was day 1, let there be. Day 2, let there be. Day 3, let there be. Day 4, same thing. Day 5, and on day 6, God said, let us make man. Can you imagine the power, the intelligence that goes into all of that in just 6 days? Can you imagine all the information and all the design, right, and the detailing of every single thing was brought together by just these 3 words, uttered by God. Let there be. And that is why I think it is so hard for people to really believe that things can be so simple. Because as human beings, we tend to always go outside to find some difficult reason or some difficult explanation or some intellectual understanding of things that can just be explained by anybody. Because with us, we feel as if the more information, the more detail that we give about a thing, it somehow make us more important. That's the bottom line. It all comes down to self glorification rather than just simply faith and belief in what is before our eyes. The Bible said the invisible things that we see, in creation is not for us to. The invisible thing and the visible thing that we see and that we know, because we really can't see the invisible thing, but we know that they're there, right? Because there are things that are invisible that we see. Believe it or not, the wind is invisible, but we see that. We see the effect of the wind, right? Have anybody ever seen the wind? Can anybody tell me the color of the wind? That's an invisible thing, right? But we see the effect of it, right? That was made by God. So when the Bible talk about invisible things that we see, yes, there are. So we was given this information by God, and you know what is striking, and I hear a great Bible teacher and a theologian said this, that when God said in Genesis, in the beginning, God didn't come stuttering and say, you know, guys, you know, I know it's gonna be very hard for you to believe, but in the beginning, I did this. God just plainly state, look, in the beginning, God. We look around and we see a tree, we see the mountain, we see the rivers, we see the ocean, we see the sun, the moon, and the star. These are the heavenly bodies, sun, moon, and the star, the galaxies, and all of this. And we say, all did these things come about? In the beginning, God. That's it. And it's either you believe that or you don't. Right? It's either you believe that or you just don't. There was no helping. There was no process of millions and billions of years. God said he did it in 6 solar days, 6 days, that as we understand day to be. God said he did it in 6 days, because when you read in Genesis, the Bible said the morning and the evening was the first day. The morning and the evening was the second day, just as how we know it to be right now. Right? So, evolution is an effort to get rid of God. And so it would free up people, because that's what it does, you know. When you get rid of God, all that is left for people is to be absurd. Their reason is absurd, their understanding is absurd, and all that does now is just free up people to do whatever they want to do. Right? Because there's no God, we are not accountable for whatever we do. We just do whatever we do, right? So evolution was a way to get rid of God, and it free up people to do whatever they want to do. That's what it is. And that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because if we know that we are accountable to someone, we act different, right? We live different, right? We behave different. Right? At least we should. At least we should. It would be wise if we are accountable to somebody, that we live different. But you know, as humans, we always jump the fence, eh? Anyway, that's the idea of evolution, to get rid of God and to allow people to live any way they want. But even the greatest minds in evolution, right, wasn't able to do that. And a man can say, or you know, whatever they want to say, you know, but even people who say there's no God, they don't live that way, right? You know? They don't live that way. And if there's no God to answer to, who determine what is wrong and who determine what is right? Where did that come from? The whole aspect of wrong and right, and what we should and should not do. Where did that come from? Because if we are honest with ourselves as human beings, we're not inclined to do the right all the time. No, that is not. That is not what we are. That is not our inclination. We people, everybody, inclination is to do what is not right. Why do we fight that? What is inside of us? What do we know in our self-conscious that if we do this, it wouldn't be right? Why? Where did all that laws that govern us, our conscience and govern our mind? You know, sometimes we go against it, but where did that law come from? You know what the Bible said? That was written on the heart of man. Who write that? Who write that little feeling you get? That they put a name, it is called a conscience. Who put that inside of man? And for what reason was that put inside of man? Even some people, you can almost hear when you talk about God, you can almost see that something is awakened in them, even though they want to try to deny it, but you can see there's a hesitation, because deep down people knows that something or someone is bigger than us, right? And if we're so in control of our life and our destiny, why are we all struggling? And because we're in control so much, why are we all struggling? There's not a single man on the face of the earth. You may not be struggling with financial problem. You may not be struggling with the fact that you're naked or you're hungry, but struggle is struggle. And whether you're struggling with financial problem or every man have their struggle. The Bible says a man that is born of a woman is full of trouble and have a short time to live. Have a short time to live. If we're in so much control, why are we aching? Why we get older? Right? As we get older, we are aching and we're in pain and we get sick and ultimately we dies. Now, after we die, is that it? Is death the ultimate answer to life problem? Is that is the biggest question that everybody needs to answer. Is death the biggest answer to our struggles and the dilemma of life? Is that it? And so, if death is, and when we die, we just go out of existence, troubles are over, bon voyage, goodbye, see you never. If that's the case, why do we fight so much to stay alive? Why? Why do we? Because we go out of existence and we're going to annihilation, and all our troubles will be over and everything is, done with. So why do we struggle to hold on to the struggle and the problem and the pain and the pressure? You know, even people that are in their hospital, or people that are sick spend millions of dollars trying to reverse, or try to alleviate pain and alleviate all of these things so that life can go on. Is that it? If that is the answer to all of that, why do we hold on so much? Now let me tell you a story. It's not my story, it's Jesus' story. Jesus told a story, right? That there was a rich man and there was a poor man. The poor man was given a name. The rich man wasn't given a name. The poor man was Lazarus. In the Bible, you might see Lazarus and Dives. Dives wasn't a name. It was just, I think, a word that stands for rich man, right? Jesus gave his story, the story of Lazarus and the rich man. And the Bible said Lazarus was a poor man and he was sick. The Bible says sores was all over Lazarus' body, right? Sores, putrefying sore all over his body. And he was at the rich man gate. The Bible said the rich man lived life to the fullest, lavish, dressed in linen, have banquets and party every day, you know. And the Bible said that Lazarus was desiring just to have the crumbs, just the crumbs that fall from the rich man's table, because he was hungry, he was poor, he was unhealthy, right? And he desires to have the crumbs that fall from the rich man's table. You know what the Bible says? Even the dogs came. You know dogs came and they licked his sores. These streets dog, and they saw this man probably thinking he was dead because he was just lying there. They came and they licked his sores. So even the dog give Lazarus some what of, and I guess maybe even make it worse. Because who know what these dogs have on their tongue and their saliva, but whatever. The Bible said the dogs came and licked his sores. Right? Eventually the Bible says that Lazarus dies. Right? But when Lazarus dies, the Bible says he was carried to Abraham's bosom. For those of you that don't know, the term Abraham bosom was a term of comfort, like used in the Bible as a reference to being comforted. Like when as a child growing up, even now, sometimes a embrace of another person can give you that comfort. You're in your darkest of situation, and someone just come and give you that hug and pull you into their bosom and hold you there. You feel that comfort and love, and for a moment all of your trouble seems to go away. But now imagine staying in that position forever. That's Abraham's bosom. Alright. And the Bible also say the rich man also dies and was buried. That's what happened. Lazarus, you didn't hear the term that Lazarus was buried. The Lazarus was taken to a place of comfort. But when the rich man died, the Bible said the rich man was buried. Then it all begins now. Because I tell you, this life is temporary. This life that we live now is very temporary. it is appointed unto man once to die. No. The next line said, after death cometh the judgment. No, tell me something. If you die and you go into eternal annihilation, why are you being judged? Have you ever seen someone in a court or some court session of someone getting a judgment or a sentence on their life or whatever for what they have done, and they're not, well, really present in the court in some way, shape or form? Yeah? No. So if you're dead and you go out of eternal annihilation, what is after death? After death comes the judgment. Why are you being judged when you're dead? Something to think about. The Bible says, Jesus give us a look into what happened in this story. The Bible says, in hell. Remember, we said the rich man died and was buried. Then the Bible says, in hell, the rich man lifted up his eyes and he saw Lazarus a distance off in Abraham's bosom, the place of comfort. And the Bible says he was in hell in torment. And the Bible says he cries out to Lazarus, cries out to Father Abraham. And he said, Father Abraham, send Lazarus. Listen this. Send Lazarus so that he could dip his finger. Don't think about this, Dip his finger in water. His finger, Not even to take the cup to him, but dip his finger in water and just carry it and come just touch it on my tongue. That's how thirsty he was. That's how thirsty he was. Father Abraham said to him, I'm getting dressed, so I'm to go to work. So I'm moving about. Father Abraham said to him, No. It will not be like that. Remember, in your lifetime, this lifetime, in your temporal lifetime, you have all the good things. You have all the good things, all the trappings, all the blessing of the Lord, and all the whatever. But you never remember God. You say all manner of evil against God. Now that may not be in the scripture because I'm just paraphrasing. But you get what I'm saying. In your lifetime, you have all the good things. And Lazarus in his lifetime didn't have that opportunity. Now the role is switched. Now you're dead. Lazarus is dead and the role is switched. Lazarus is now in comfort and now you're in torment. And then Father Abraham said, furthermore, there's a fixed gulf, meaning there's a fixed distance between you and me, so that you cannot cross over here and I cannot cross over there. The rich man in hell, in his torment, said, Lazarus, they said, Father Abraham, please send. I don't remember if he was asking for him to go back or if he was asking to send whatever. He said, send word to my brothers and my sisters. I have some back home, back in the temporal life here. I have them living and they're probably doing the same thing. Now that I'm dead, they're probably using all of my money and living the same life that I was living. Tell them to not come this side. Warn them to not come here. But you know what Father Abraham said? No. They will not believe one that come back from the dead. So it's obvious that he was asking to go back. No, they would not hear from one that come back from the dead. Right? If they won't hear Moses and the prophets. So if they won't hear this, if they won't listen to this, the Bible, with all the writing of Moses and all the prophets, and they will not listen to you who come back from the dead. And Jesus fulfilled that perfectly, because Jesus has came back from the dead. People don't listen to Jesus right now. This is the only information you will get. You don't believe it? It's on you. This is the only information you will get for you in this temporal life, for you to make and surrender your life to God, so that when you get to the everlasting life after death, or if we are so lucky to see the judgment coming, if you do not listen to what is written in this book, you will be lost. You will be lost. And you will find yourself in hell, separated from God in utter darkness forever. This is my word for somebody today, even for myself. Because if I don't, the same fate will be mine. Today is the acceptable time. If you hear the voice of God, harden not your heart